Hi everyone, it's Eddie here at Eddie Makes Art. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing some eco gel printing, and I went out in the backyard and picked out some leaves and weeds, and just going to show you how to make some really cool, simple gel prints using stuff from your backyard, like leaves. So here I'm just using a thin layer of paint, and that is a transparent purple, a Liquitex, and I'm just laying down the leaves wherever I want, just kind of balancing it all out. I'm not being too fussy about the position and all that. I'm trying to get something interesting going. And then what I'll do is I will just take a plain piece of copy paper and lay it down over the leaves in the plate and just give it a nice firm rub, and that way I get the really good imprint of the leaves without disturbing the entire image. And these are very easy to do if you are just starting out on the gel plate and you want to make something really cool. That's super simple. This is it. Again, I'm using a transparent paint below. You don't have to. I like the effect that it gives when you add the other paints to the plate to pick up that layer. So here I'm adding some Lucas Krill, that is Naples Yellow, and if you'll notice, I'm not putting on a lot, just a thin layer, and I'm doing the top half, and then the bottom half I will use the Liquitex, I believe it's light blue, and these are both opaque paints. And then another one I'll show you later. I do a pickup layer with transparent paints. So you can do it with both. The key to this though is use your color wheel and stick to and understand what colors work best together. Understand what are contrasting colors versus complementary colors, and also how one color affects another when you layer it on top of each other, if you understand what I'm saying. So this print didn't take too long to come up. It probably dried for like 5 minutes maybe. And you can see the detail in the leaves is spectacular. So when you're putting down that first pickup paper to pick up the paint around the leaves, don't smush it too hard, because otherwise you're going to move those leaves and you're not going to get the nice definition that you see here. And you see on the top, the yellow kind of browned out the leaf, and then the blue just pump up the purple a little bit more. And here I'm using a sap green. This is a transparent paint from Amsterdam, from their standard series. And again, I'm not applying a thick layer, just thick enough to get me a nice imprint from the leaves I'm putting down. And when I do these, I like to put the leaves going, up and down, and it just gives more interest, I think. So, yeah, those are clovers, and then one next to it, I don't remember exactly what it is. I think it's a weed, but I can't be sure. And I'm using the same copy paper to pick up the paint here, and that way I'll get a really cool print on the end, at the end of the session. Now try and show you what it looks like as the video goes on. So you see you get really cool negative shapes on the pickup. So that'll make a fun print for later. Now you can use these leaves multiple times, you know, if you want to use the same ones in different prints. That's, you know, you can certainly do that. Just be aware they're going to be a little wet, so maybe, you know, let them dry for a couple minutes. And here I'm going to pick it up with the Lucas Krill Fern color, and that's going to be my bottom. That's an opaque paint. And at the top, I'm going to use the same Lucas Krill, but the Arctic blue, or Arctic. And again, just, you know, thin layers. This paint pulls really well, so you don't need a really thick layer, especially because the layer underneath is not super thick. And you can certainly do this on a larger plate. You can do it on a smaller plate. Up to you. This pickup was a little bit longer. You know, it sat on the plate a little bit longer because the krill takes just a little bit longer to dry, but it wasn't much longer than the previous one. So, and I'm using here what's called a Baron, and it's a tool to go over your gel print to make sure that you have really good contact with paper and paint. And that Baron in particular that I'm using was made by Anthony Cody at Cody Crafts in over on Etsy, and he has some really amazing stuff. He does bowls, Barons, different sizes, all kinds of stuff. So and he turns all the wood himself that he gets. So I'll link him below. You can check him out. And you see how the cool detail that came out here? This is kind of like more, not monotone, just kind of like more complementary together colors. And this color I'm using is the Liquitex Quinacridone Magenta. And I'm almost running out, you can see there. This is a transparent paint as well. Correction, it's a semi-transparent paint. And you don't even have to fill the entire gel plate with leaves and such if you're going to do a print. Here I just pulled a few stems with leaves, kind of arranged it in like a fan pattern, and then I just added some details around the edges, but I could have left it just like this and that would have been fine. And I'm adding some this is dillweed, or dill, not dill, I'm sorry. This is fennel, sorry. They're fennel fronds. This will add another cool layer to that pickup sheet. It's the same one I've been using since the beginning. And Be careful too when you're using the thinner stuff like the fennel, because it'll stick. So just, you know, take it easy and lift carefully. You see how cool that print is? Very nice. And all those paints on there are either transparent or semi-transparent, so it gives it a really, really good kind of vibe. And it doesn't look much on the plate from here. Like, it doesn't look like anything. It just looks like a bunch of blobs of paint. But once we add the pickup paint on the top layer and then pull it, you'll see it looks really, really cool. You actually may have seen this one on one of my YouTube short videos or my Instagram reels, where I cut it down to really, you know, a small bit and sped it up, but same thing. So I'm using here a semi-transparent. It's primary yellow from Liquitex, and on the bottom is a primary blue, or they call it cyan, in the Liquitex, and this is also semi-transparent. And again, I'm not using a lot of paint, just kind of enough where I know it'll pick it up. You can certainly do an ombre to do the lift. I'm not really good at it, so I don't do it as often. I should practice, but you know, you can do that. And this print didn't take very long to dry at all. This the Liquitex colors can dry quickly, so it makes for a quick pull. When you use the Baron, make sure you get the edges too, because sometimes, especially I'll do this, I'll forget the edges and not really pay attention to them, and then I miss a bunch of stuff. So I've gotten into the habit of making sure I get all the edges really, really well. Another tip when just in general for gel plating, the better conditioned your plate is, the better and cleaner your pulls are going to be. If you're someone who was interested in that sort of going there. You see how interesting that print is? I'm sorry, I was talking and I missed it, but there's a lot of great details that came up on that. Yeah, so make sure you condition your plate and you get a nice clean pull. This plate was like conditioned probably an hour before I did the video. And I actually wasn't planning on releasing this as a video. I was just doing it as just kind of practice and kind of just, you know, I turned the camera on, you know, just in case. And I decided that, yeah, let me go ahead and put it out. I think it's interesting. It's helpful. It's a great beginner tutorial. So there you go. And these are a type of grape leaf that grows on a fence in my backyard. It hasn't produced grapes in a very long time, but they make a great print. I use it at the beginning of the video. These leaves, actually the ones to the right are Morning Glory leaves. The top left corner, that's one of the grape leaves. And the blue is a Prussian blue transparent paint from Amsterdam Standard Series. This paint dries quickly. And for this one, I chose the Pabeo. I'm going to do metallic, so I chose the Pabeo iridescent blue green and the Amsterdam deep gold. So those two will be my colors to pick up this this print. Now, mind you, the Pabeo is a heavy body, but the gold is not, but they're both opaque. So just keep that in mind if you're using that combination, to make sure you don't add too much of the heavy body versus the other one. Just kind of balance it out, if that makes sense. I hope it does. But you see, I didn't put out much of the iridescent blue there. Now the gold, it doesn't show up very well on here, but once I pull the print, you'll see how it looks. It looks really good, I think. This is the last pull in the video. Sorry. But I'll be making more of these videos, gel printing. So if there's a particular theme you want me to touch on or something, let me know in the comments. I would be glad to accommodate. And here we go. I really like this one. I think it's very, very elegant. You see some of that blue, Prussian blue, stuck to the left on the plate, but it gave me a really cool look on that leaf at the bottom, to the bottom left. Thank you so much. Enjoy the photos here at the end of the video, and pause and take a look closer. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thank you.